Legislation, compliance, and ethical conduct are foundations for good business practice.
Understanding the business legislation of the country in which you operate can have a direct positive impact on the business.
On the flip side, not complying with the legal obligations of a country can result in fines or even jail time.
Legal requirements may include financial regulations, tax obligations, and employment law.
The local small business association or chamber of commerce will be able to provide guidance on legal requirements, or an accountant can provide a wealth of information to get your business on the right track.
Different industries will have their own requirements. For example, the food industry has specific requirements regarding the safe handling of food.
Legal compliance is supported within the business by ethical behavior and developing a code of conduct.
A code of conduct and a code of ethics are guidelines for a business on ethical conduct, honest practices, integrity, and professionalism. They provide general outlines of how employees should behave and specific outlines for certain behaviors.
Business codes of ethics are often based on human rights legislation, and these can include religion, beliefs and opinions, personal privacy, freedom of expression, the right to demonstration and petition, freedom of association, freedom of movement, human dignity, equality.
Although these two codes are often considered the same, there is an integral difference between a code of conduct and a code of ethics. A code of conduct is a set of rules which outline the behavior which an organization expects its employees to comply with.
Whereas a code of ethics is based on the understanding of the difference between right and wrong. Ethics relates to proper practice of an organization to be lawful, non-corrupt, and to operate in a manner that upholds human rights and dignity.
Some of the ethical practices which relate to businesses are individual ethics, societal ethics, professional ethics.
Individual ethics are the personal standards and values that govern how individuals interact with other people. Within an organization, the individual ethics of management are especially important to shaping the organization's code of ethics. Highly ethical leaders set the standard which employees are expected to adhere to.
Societal ethics are standards that govern how the members of a society deal with each other in matters such as fairness, justice, poverty, and the rights of the individual.
Professional ethics are standards that govern how managers or workers make decisions when the way in which they should behave is not clear-cut. Medical ethics, for instance, govern the way doctors and nurses treat patients.
A lack of ethical behavior within a business can lead to mistrust, both within the company and externally with customers.
When trust has been undermined, many other problems can occur for a business, such as gaining a bad reputation,
lack of support from staff, limited communication, and even ultimately, your company may become blacklisted.
As a business owner, it is your responsibility to set the ground rules for an ethical working environment, incorporating these characteristics: integrity, honesty, loyalty, responsibility, and accountability, to name a few.
A code of conduct should incorporate the beliefs, vision, and values of the business. Different business leaders bring their own style to the business, whether that be democratic or autocratic, but without some sort of formalized code of conduct, organizations generally cannot operate smoothly.
Important stances made in a code of conduct will focus on worker health and safety, quality of safety products, discrimination of any form, privacy and confidentiality of records, and reporting fraud or compliance failures.
Non-compliance to the code of conduct or ethics can arise when an organization focuses on profit without consideration of the implications for the organization's customers, employees, shareholders, suppliers, and society in which they operate. For example, organizations rely heavily on public perception that they are acting with goodwill when marketing products and services. If a company is unethical and does not follow an ethical code of conduct, consumers will take notice and profits might suffer. On the other hand, an ethical organization builds trust among the public.
As a business owner, you need to ensure that the behavior of your employees meets these behavior standards. To set the behavior standards, you need to interpret the code of conduct into behavior standards for your specific team. Apart from the conduct promises made to consumers and other stakeholders, there are internal aspects to a code of conduct. These can include dress code, alcohol on the premises, maintaining confidentiality, not accepting personal gifts from stakeholders, complying with laws and regulations, not using the business's property for personal use, and many more.
These may also vary according to the industry in which the business operates. As a member of a society, group, or community, an individual can hold both a personal value system and a communal value system at the same time. In other words, an employee can have his or her own personal value system as well as the common value system found in the organization's code of ethics.
It is never too early to establish your code of conduct. Even if you only have one employee, establishing a code of conduct now means you are prepared for when your business grows.
Establishing your ethical stance and matching this to a code of conduct will give your business a solid reputation and create trust in the market in which you operate.